what I needed to believe in order for myself to become a high ticket closer. And so I learned the benchmarks. That's the move. What's up, high ticket sellers? Sean Malone in the house today, and I'm a happy camper. If you didn't know, check this out. We're going to talk about something so powerful today, so amazing. And I got a question from Harry E, who said to me a couple of days ago, he said, Sean, how do I become a good high ticket closer? And I love this question because like a lot of people always ask me like, how do you know you're good at sales? How do you know you're doing this thing? Like, how do you know when it's you're in the right place and you're doing the right thing? And really it comes down to the results that you're getting. And so I remember several years ago, I was watching a baseball game, and I was sitting there and I was watching this baseball game, and literally, I don't quite remember who I was speaking with, but I was speaking with somebody, and we were looking at like batting averages of the hitters that were up at the plate. And I was like, okay, this guy's batting average is like 195. And then the next guy's batting average was like 230. And then the home run hitter, the fourth position guy, comes up and his batting average was just shy of 400. And then as I'm speaking about batting averages with this guy, he says to me, he's like, you realize that like even having a batting average of 300 is like 3 out of 10. So that means 7 times out of 10, the pro baseball player messes up, gets out, strikes out, does whatever, doesn't make it. And so I was like, wow, 7 times out of 10. And so just those 3 times out of 10, he's getting hits or he's hitting home runs or he's doing the thing that's right and getting the results. And literally, if you hit in baseball, professional baseball, this is the top half of the top 1% of the top universe in playing baseball. If you hit above the 300 line, you're considered really good or awesome at hitting. And that's only getting 3 out of 10 conversions or 3 out of 10 hits or moving forwards or moving the needles. And so I started thinking about like, man, that's a really valuable idea when it comes to sales, because then how can that translate directly into sales? And so the question came out. So the answer to this is like, how do I become a good high ticket closer, Harry? I'm talking to you specifically here. The answer is you have to answer one question for yourself, and then we set some benchmarks. So here's how to do it. You need to answer this one question. The question is, what do you believe, what do you need to believe in order for yourself to consider yourself to be a good high ticket closer? Let me say that again. So if somebody says, how do I become a good high ticket closer? My answer, Harry, is going to be, what do you need to believe in order for yourself to believe that you're a good high ticket closer? And every industry is going to be different. Every results level is going to be different, but you need to learn benchmarks in your world. Now, I just shared the baseball analogy. In the baseball world, it's like if you can hit over 300 batting average, you are considered amazing at baseball, and that's just 3 out of 10 times. In high ticket sales, right, and I'm talking about a $5,000 product or higher, so 5K or higher, here's the benchmarks that I've just uncovered over the past 20 years of being a professional sales professional. 1 in 5 is considered good. Okay, so if we use that as a benchmark for how do you know if you're a good high ticket closer or how do you become one, if you're closing on average 1 in 5 deals, that's 20% close ratio, I would say, you're a good high ticket closer, right? 20%, 1 in 5. That means if you're having 5 on average, most sales professionals have 4 to 6 calls a day on average, right? When it's a high ticket environment. So if let's say it's just 5 calls a day. So if you're closing 1 out of 5 every day, so if you have 5 appointments on your calendar and you're closing 1 every day, guess what? You're closing 5 deals a week. That's 5,000 times 5, and that's 25 grand in revenue that you're bringing into the company every single week. That's 50K every half month. That's 100K every month. I would say if you're closing 100K a month in dollar revenues for high ticket, you are considered a good closer. Now, that's 20%. That's 1 in 5. Now, what can we do to improve this? How do we become even a better high ticket closer? Well, there's really 2 things we need to focus on. Prospecting. Do you have 5 appointments every single day? Because that's where it starts. Like, you can't become an awesome converter or conversion expert or high ticket closer if you don't have the ability to actually get the appointments on your calendar. So that becomes one of the first buckets. The prospecting bucket is the bucket that we need to get really good at first, so we can get ourselves into a mess of sales conversations and we can figure out like, how good of a conversion person are we? And we can learn like what's broken in our sales process, our methods, and what we're doing. And then at the end of the day, you can say, okay, I got the prospecting thing dialed in. Now I've got these 5 appointments every day. How am I closing? Am I 1 in 5? Am I doing that? Am I hitting that 20%? That's a benchmark that we should all stick with, right? So that's the benchmark. 20% is considered good. 21 to 50% close ratio. So that means if you have 5 accounts every day, you're closing anywhere between 2 and 3 of them every single day. Again, that's just going to double your income at the end of the month. But if you're be able to close your closing percentage, meaning once you get into the sales conversation with 5 people, you're closing 2 or 3 out of them into a product that's $5,000 or higher, you're considered a great high ticket closer, right? So that's, again, 21 to 50% conversions. Now, and for those of you that are like overachievers, if you can close 51% or higher, you're considered an amazing high ticket closer if that deal is $5,000 or more. So again, that's 51%. So if you have 5 appointments in a day, you're closing at least 3, if not 4, even all 5. Like a perfect day would be closing 5 in a day. And that's how I personally judge, like, did I become a good high ticket closer? Sean, how did you become a high ticket good closer? I had to figure out what I needed to believe in order for myself to become a high ticket closer. And so I learned the benchmarks. That's the move. So once you learn the benchmarks and you understand in your industry, in your world, because it's going to be specific for everybody's, and everybody is different. So you can't compare industry to industry. It's like an orange to a lime. It's just not going to make sense. But the industry that you choose, and then look at the benchmarks, like talk to some of your competitors. Hey, what are the average close rates that you guys get? Like, are you closing 20%, 30%, 50% when you're in the sales conversation? And I think when we narrow that down and we figure out like, okay, hey, I'm in this range, I'm good. Now, a couple of things we can do. So again, if you need help with the prospecting, with getting 5 appointments on your calendar, you need to like get involved with our Sales Ascenders Inner Circle group, because that's what we teach. That's our focus. And then of course our superpower is the conversion mechanism, which comes after that. But like literally that's the key, is filling up your bucket with opportunity and then having the conversation and then looking at the metrics of saying, okay, my numbers that I did, my benchmark say 20% is good. I'm getting 3, 4, 5 conversations a day. I'm closing X percentage. And now I can tell based on my benchmark scale, am I a good high ticket closer? That's how I did it. That's how everybody else does it. And I hope this one helped you, Harry, because this is a great question. And I think a lot of people have some like unrelenting standards, like, oh, I'm not closing that well, or I don't know if I'm a good closer. And there's this like mystification in your mind. And so before going into the sales opportunity or what you're doing, just remember to yourself, like, hey, before I start doing any sales work, like let's set some benchmarks so that I know, like compared to my own scale that I just created, like I'm hitting points. And if you're hitting the points, guess what? You're going to do well. So with that said, I hope that helps. And again, if you guys have any other questions about high ticket sales, please drop them in here in a comment. I will definitely answer these. Again, this is my first one this week. I do typically 3 of these every single week. Harry, I am so grateful for this question. I thought that was very powerful. And again, it's that one question you got to answer for yourself, which is, what do you need to believe in order for yourself to be a good high ticket closer? And the answer is to set some benchmarks in your world and then start putting the conversations in front of you to see if you're hitting those numbers or you're not. And it's a yes, no. It's really easy. So that said, guys, happy camper out today. I hope you guys are doing awesome. And definitely it's Taco Tuesday. Go get yourself some tacos. I think we're going to have fish tacos today. I'm excited. With that said, we will catch up with you guys tomorrow for my next 10-minute high ticket tune-up.